Actually, we'll take our coffee to go, the woman says, not even looking at her. This place is, well. Maya feels the heat crawl up her neck. She knows what they see. The frayed edges of her uniform where she's tried to mend it 3 times. The shoes held together with superglue because new ones cost $70 she doesn't have. The exhaustion carved into every line of her face because she's been working double shifts for 2 weeks straight, and her daughter needs medicine, and the pharmacist won't take promises as payment. Of course, Maya manages, her voice steady even though everything inside her is crumbling. Right away. She turns toward the counter, blinking back the burning in her eyes, and that's when the bell above the door chimes. The sound cuts through the diner's humid air like a blade, and suddenly everything feels different. Colder, sharper. The fluorescent lights seem to dim, though that's impossible. Maya looks up, and her breath catches. Before we continue, please prove my mom wrong. She says I can't hit 1,000 subscribers. Okay, let's continue. The man standing in the doorway shouldn't exist. He's too tall, too perfectly proportioned, dressed in a black suit that probably costs more than her entire year's rent. His hair is dark as midnight, swept back from a face that could make angels weep. But it's his eyes that freeze her in place, silver gray like a winter storm, and ancient. So ancient she can feel the weight of centuries in his gaze, even from across the room. He's looking directly at her. Table for 1, he says, and his voice rolls through the diner like distant thunder. Deep, commanding. The kind of voice that expects obedience and always receives it. Maya's coworker Cheryl, who's been working at Mel's diner for 15 years and hasn't been impressed by anything in at least 10, actually stammers. Of course, sir. Anywhere you'd like. He doesn't acknowledge Cheryl. His eyes remain locked on Maya as he glides, to the booth in her section. The one in the back corner where the lighting is worst and the vinyl is most cracked. He sits with a fluid grace that makes Maya think of predators, of things that hunt in darkness. I'll take care of him, Cheryl whispers urgently, grabbing Maya's arm. You look like you're about to pass out. Go splash some water on your face. But Maya can't move. Those silver eyes are holding her captive, and beneath the fear thrumming through her veins is something else. Something that feels dangerously like recognition, though she's never seen this man before in her life. She would remember. God, anyone would remember. Maya! His voice cuts through her paralysis. That is your name, isn't it? Her name tag. He's reading her name tag. That's all. But the way he says it makes it sound like an incantation. Like he's tasting each syllable and finding them precious. She forces her legs to move, carrying her across the scuffed linoleum until she's standing beside his booth, with her notepad clutched like a shield. Up close, he's even more devastating. His skin is pale, flawless, and when he looks up at her, she notices his pupils are slightly too large, like a cat's adjusted for darkness. What can I get you? The question comes out barely above a whisper. Coffee. Black. He pauses, tilting his head slightly. And you can stop being afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. The laugh that escapes her is sharp, borderline hysterical. I wasn't. Your heartbeat gave you away. He leans back, and there's something almost amused in his expression. It's racing. Has been since I walked in. Maya's hand tightens on her notepad. This is crazy. This entire interaction is crazy. Normal customers don't talk like this. They don't notice heartbeats, or look at her like she's the only person in the universe worth seeing. I'll get your coffee, she says, backing away. Maya. He says her name again, and this time it stops her mid-step. How much do you need? What? For your daughter's medication. How much? The diner tilts sideways. Maya grabs the back of an empty chair to steady herself. You can't just... $347. He says it like he's commenting on the weather. The pharmacist quoted you $347 for a 2-week supply of antibiotics that should cost $50 at most, but he knows you're desperate. He knows you have no insurance, no husband, no one to fight for you. Maya's vision blurs. She thinks she might actually faint, right here on the sticky floor of Mel's diner, while the couple from Booth 7 watches and judges, and this impossible stranger unmakes her with his terrible, perfect knowledge. "Who are you?" she whispers. He stands in one fluid motion, and suddenly he's close enough that she can smell him. Something dark and spicy like cinnamon and smoke. Nothing like the grease and coffee that usually saturates this place. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a wallet of soft black leather. Someone who recognizes what the world tries to keep hidden. He counts out bills without looking at them. $400. He folds them once and holds them out to her. "Take it." "I can't." "You can. You will." There's no room for argument in his tone. Your daughter needs medicine, and you need to stop punishing yourself for circumstances beyond your control. Maya's hand moves without her permission, reaching for the money. Her fingers brush his as she takes it, and the contact sends electricity singing up her arm. His skin is cold, impossibly cold, but the touch doesn't feel dead. It feels like power, restrained and patient. Why? The word breaks on her tongue. Why would you do this? For the first time, something flickers in those ancient eyes. Something that might be sadness or longing or recognition of his own. "Because you remind me that there are still things worth protecting in this world," he says softly, "and because you're going to need my help more than you realize." Before Maya can ask what that means, the bell above the door chimes again. This time, the cold that rushes in is different. Malevolent. Maya feels it slide across her skin like oil, and the man in front of her, this stranger who knows too much and gives too freely, goes absolutely still. 3 men enter. They're dressed in expensive clothes like the first man, but there's something wrong about them. Their movements are too synchronized. Their eyes scan the diner with predatory focus, and when they land on Maya, she sees hunger there, raw and terrible. Well. The one in front speaks with an accent Maya can't place. Eastern European, maybe. His smile reveals teeth that seem slightly too sharp. "Look what we have here. The Sable King slumming in human establishments. How democratic of you." The man beside Maya, the Sable King apparently, doesn't turn around. His body has become a wall between Maya and the newcomers, blocking her from their view with deliberate casualness. Theron, Marius, Castor. He greets each name like a curse. "This is neutral territory. You know the laws." "Laws?" The leader, Theron, laughs, and the sound makes Maya's teeth ache. "You're the one who made those laws, Dante. You and your precious council. But you're here, alone, without your guards, without your throne." He takes a step closer. "And that woman behind you smells absolutely delicious." Maya's breath stops. Smells delicious. Vampire. The word blazes through her mind like wildfire, because it's the only thing that makes sense. The cold skin, the ancient eyes, the impossible grace, the hunger in these newcomers' faces. Vampires are real, and she's standing behind one, clutching $400, while 3 others look at her like she's dinner. Dante, the Sable King, moves so fast Maya doesn't see it happen. One moment he's standing beside her, the next he's between her and Theron, with his hand wrapped around the other man's throat. The motion creates a gust of wind that sends napkins flying and makes Cheryl shriek from behind the counter. "Touch her," Dante says, his voice dropping to something subterranean, something that vibrates in Maya's bones. "And I will scatter your ashes across 7 continents before sunrise." Theron's companions tense, hands moving to weapons Maya can't see, but Theron himself grins despite the hand crushing his windpipe. "So protective," he gasps. "Is she yours, then? Has the great Sable King finally claimed a human?" Dante releases him with a shove that sends Theron stumbling back 3 steps. She's under my protection. That's all you need to know. Protection isn't claiming. Marius speaks up, his voice smoother than Theron's, but no less dangerous. Protection is temporary. Claiming is permanent. Which is it, Your Majesty? The silence stretches like pulled taffy. Maya can hear her own heartbeat thundering in her ears, can hear Cheryl's panicked breathing from the kitchen where she's hidden, can hear the rain still hammering against the windows. But from the vampires, there's nothing. No breath, no pulse, just waiting. Out, Dante says finally. Now! We're just having a conversation. Out! The word crashes through the diner with physical force. The windows rattle, the lights flicker. Maya feels it press against her chest like a hand, and she has to grab the booth to keep from staggering. The 3 vampires feel it too. Their bodies actually bend under the weight of Dante's command, knees buckling before they catch themselves. This isn't over, Theron promises, but he's already backing toward the door, his companions following. When your protection ends, we'll remember this human. We'll remember her scent. They're gone in a blur of motion and rain, the door swinging shut behind them with a cheerful chime that feels obscene after what just happened. Maya's legs give out. She slides down the side of the booth until she's sitting on the floor, still clutching the money in one fist and her notepad in the other. Her entire body is shaking now, not just her hands. Full body tremors that make her teeth chatter. Dante kneels in front of her, moving slowly this time, carefully, like he's approaching a frightened animal. Breathe, he says. Maya, breathe. You're safe. Vampires, she manages. You're vampires. They're vampires. Vampires are real. Yes. And they were going to, yes. His face is grave. But they won't. I won't allow it. Maya laughs, and it comes out broken, edged with hysteria. You won't allow it. You. Because you're what, exactly? A king? That's what he called you. The Sable King. It's a title. One I've carried for 300 years. 300 years. Maya's mind can't process that. Can't stretch to accommodate the reality of sitting on a diner floor with a man who's been alive since the 1700s, who just threatened to scatter someone's ashes across continents. Why me? She whispers. Why did you come here? Why did you give me money? Why are you protecting me? Dante is quiet for a long moment. Then he does something that surprises her more than anything else tonight. He removes his coat. It's long, black cashmere, clearly expensive, and he drapes it around her shoulders with careful precision. The coat is heavy and still holds his warmth. No, not warmth. His presence. The scent of cinnamon and smoke intensifies, wrapping around Maya like an embrace. Wear this, he says, and there's something fierce in his voice, something that makes her heart skip. Every vampire in this city will smell me on you and back off. I don't understand. It's a claiming mark. In our world, it means you're mine, protected, untouchable. He pauses, and his next words come softer. I came here because I felt you, your despair. It called to me across the city like a beacon, and I've learned not to ignore those calls. The ones who need saving are often the ones most worth knowing. Maya pulls the coat tighter around herself. It falls past her knees, swallowing her in its folds, and she can feel something shift as she does. Like a door closing on one version of her life and opening on another. I'm nobody, she says. Just a waitress with a sick kid and too many bills. You're not nobody to me. The words hang in the air between them. Weighted with meaning Maya doesn't fully understand but feels in her marrow. She looks at Dante, really looks at him, and sees past the impossible beauty to something else. Loneliness, ancient and bone deep. The kind that comes from watching centuries pass while remaining fundamentally alone. What happens now? She asks. Now. Dante stands and offers her his hand. I take you home. Make sure you're safe. Make sure your daughter gets her medicine. And then, And then you decide whether you want my protection to continue, whether you want to understand this world you've stumbled into. His silver eyes bore into hers. Whether you want to understand me. Maya takes his hand. His skin is still cold, but his grip is strong and steady, and when he pulls her to her feet, she feels safer than she has in years. The coat settles around her shoulders like armor. Okay, she breathes. Okay. The smile that crosses Dante's face is small, but genuine, and it transforms him from something remote and kingly into something almost human. Almost, but not quite. Never quite. Then let's get you home, Maya. He keeps his hand on the small of her back as they walk to the door, and Maya is hyper-aware of every eye in the diner tracking them. Cheryl has emerged from the kitchen, gaping openly. The couple from booth 7 is pressed against their seat, staring. But Maya doesn't care anymore. Let them stare. Let them judge. She's wearing a vampire king's coat, and for the first time in months, maybe years, she feels like she matters. The rain has softened to a drizzle by the time they step outside. Dante's car is waiting at the curb. A sleek black Mercedes that looks like it costs more than her apartment building. He opens the passenger door for her, and Maya slides in, the leather seats cool and butter-soft beneath her. Dante settles into the driver's seat with that same fluid grace, and the engine purrs to life. They pull away from the diner, away from Mel's, and the grease and the fluorescent lights, and the life Maya has been grinding through day after desperate day. Your address? Dante asks. Maya gives it, her voice small in the luxury car's quiet interior. They drive in silence for several minutes, the city sliding past the windows in streaks of light and shadow. Maya watches Dante's profile, the sharp line of his jaw, the elegant hands on the steering wheel. Hands that threaten to scatter a vampire's ashes just to keep her safe. Those men, she says finally. Will they really stay away? Because of the coat. The coat helps. It marks you as mine, warns other vampires that touching you means facing me. He glances at her, and there's something dark in his expression. But Theron is ambitious, reckless. He'll test boundaries. So, I'm in danger. You were already in danger. Dante's voice is matter-of-fact. Vampires can sense vulnerability, desperation. It draws us like blood in water. You've probably been noticed for weeks, tracked. That's why I came tonight. To make my claim clear before someone else decided to take advantage. Maya's stomach turns. Take advantage how? There are many ways to use a desperate human. Some vampires prefer servants. Others prefer meals. A few prefer... He stops, jaw tightening. You don't need those details. Just know that my protection is real. And I don't give it lightly. They turn onto Maya's street, a run-down stretch of apartment buildings, with bars on the windows and trash collected in the gutters. Dante parks in front of her building, the one with the broken front door lock and the landlord who never fixes anything, and kills the engine. Maya doesn't move. Why? She asks again. Really, not the pretty answer about feeling my despair. The real reason. Dante is quiet for so long Maya thinks he won't answer. Then he turns to face her fully, and the raw honesty in his expression makes her breath catch. 300 years ago, I was human. A lord with lands and title and wealth I'd inherited from a father who'd inherited it from his father. I thought I was important, powerful. His smile is bitter. Then I was turned, dragged into the dark by a vampire who saw me as nothing more than a pretty addition to her collection. I spent 50 years as her pet before I was strong enough to break free. Maya's hand moves to cover his before she can think better of it. His fingers are cold beneath her palm, but they turn immediately, threading through hers. I built my kingdom from nothing, he continues. Became strong enough that others feared me, respected me. Created laws to protect humans and younger vampires from the cruelty I'd endured. But it's lonely, Maya. Being king. being the one everyone fears. I've spent 2.5 centuries surrounded by people who want something from me, power, protection, favor, but who never see me. Just the crown. And you think I see you? I think you don't care about crowns. You care about surviving. Protecting your daughter. Making rent. His thumb strokes across her knuckles. I think you're real in a way most people in my world aren't. And I think, he pauses, vulnerable, I think I'm tired of being alone. The confession hangs between them, intimate and raw. Maya's heart is doing something complicated in her chest, fear and compassion and something else tangling together. This man, this vampire king, is ancient and powerful and capable of unimaginable violence. But he's also lonely. And he looked at her, really looked, and decided she was worth saving. My daughter, Maya says. Lily, she's 6. I need to know she'll be safe She'll be protected. Both of you. I swear it on my name and my throne. The vow sounds formal, weighted with something more than just words. Maya nods slowly. Then come upstairs. Meet her. Let me prove to you that I'm not just desperate or crazy, or having some kind of breakdown. Dante's smile is real this time, reaching his eyes. I would be honored. They take the stairs because the elevator has been broken for 3 months. Dante doesn't comment on the graffiti, or the smell of urine in the stairwell, or the flickering lights. He simply walks beside Maya, his presence a warm pressure at her back, and when they reach her floor, he waits while she fumbles with her keys. The apartment is small, 1 bedroom that Maya gave to Lily while she sleeps on the couch. The furniture is thrift store finds held together with hope. But it's clean, and there are drawings on the refrigerator, and a nightlight glows from Lily's half-open door. She's sleeping, Maya whispers. The babysitter, Mrs. Chen from downstairs. She probably just left. May I see her? Dante's voice is gentle. Just for a moment? Maya nods and leads him to Lily's room. Her daughter is a small hump under a quilt covered in unicorns, her dark hair spread across the pillow, her breathing slightly congested from the infection that's been plaguing her for 2 weeks. Maya's heart clenches seeing her, remembering how high her fever spiked yesterday, how scared she'd been. Dante stands in the doorway, just watching. His expression is soft, almost yearning. She's beautiful, he murmurs. She's everything. Maya's voice cracks. Everything good in my life. Every reason I keep going. Then she'll have the best care available, the best doctors, whatever she needs. I can't let you. Yes, you can. Dante turns to her, and his hand comes up to cup her cheek. The gesture is tender, his palm cold against her warm skin. Let me help, Maya. Let me be something other than a king for once. Let me be someone who matters. Maya leans into his touch without meaning to, exhausted and overwhelmed and desperate for this to be real. For this impossible vampire king to actually care, actually want to help, actually see her as more than just a broken thing to fix. Okay, she whispers. They leave Lily sleeping and return to the tiny living room. Maya puts a kettle on, tea because she needs something normal and human to ground her, while Dante examines her space with the focus of someone cataloging security weaknesses. The locks are inadequate, he says. I'll have someone install better ones tomorrow, and you need wards. Wards? Magical protections. They'll keep unwanted vampires out. He pauses at her refrigerator, studying Lily's drawings. One is a princess in a tower. Another is a dragon. She's talented. She wants to be an artist when she grows up, or a veterinarian. It changes daily. Maya pours hot water over tea bags, and the simple domesticity of it feels surreal. She's making tea for a vampire, a king. This is her life now. She carries the mugs to the couch and sits, patting the cushion beside her. Dante joins her, accepting the tea he probably can't drink with a small nod of thanks. Tell me how this works, Maya says. The protection, the claiming mark, all of it. So he does. Dante explains vampire society in a low, patient voice. The hierarchies, the territories, the laws. He tells her about his kingdom, which spans 3 states and includes hundreds of vampires who owe him fealty. He explains that the coat is step 1, that deeper claiming involves blood, but he won't ask for that until she understands what it means. Blood makes the bond permanent, he says. Unbreakable. You would be mine in every way that matters to my kind. Protected, provided for, but also tied to me. It's not something to enter into lightly. And if I don't want the deeper bond, then you don't take it. The coat alone will keep most vampires away. Those it doesn't deter, I'll handle personally. Maya sips her tea, thinking, this is insane. All of it. But she can't deny that wearing Dante's coat makes her feel safer than she has in years. That his presence in her shabby apartment feels right somehow, like a puzzle piece clicking into place. Can I think about it? The blood bond? Take all the time you need. Dante sets his untouched tea aside and reaches for her hand again. I'm not going anywhere, Maya. Not unless you send me away. And if those other vampires come back? Theron and his friends? Dante's expression goes cold, his eyes flashing silver. Then they'll learn why I've held my throne for 3 centuries. Why even ancient vampires fear the Sable King. There's violence in that promise, but Maya finds she doesn't care. After years of being powerless, of being prey to landlords and pharmacists, and a world that chews up single mothers and spits them out, having someone powerful on her side feels like oxygen after drowning. Stay, she says impulsively. Tonight. Just stay. I don't want to be alone. Dante's eyes widen fractionally, surprise flickering across his ancient face. Then he nods, slow and solemn. Where would you like me? Here, on the couch. I'll get you a blanket. I don't sleep, Maya, not the way you do. But he settles into the corner of her ratty couch like it's a throne, and when Maya hesitates, he opens his arms. Come here. She goes, curls against his side with his coat still wrapped around her and her head on his chest where a heartbeat should be. His arm comes around her, secure and strong, and Maya feels something in her chest unlock. Some terrible tension she's been carrying for years, finally releasing. Thank you, she whispers, for seeing me, for caring. Thank you, Dante responds, his voice rumbling under her ear, for letting me. Maya's eyes drift closed. Tomorrow she'll take Lily to the doctor. Tomorrow she'll call in sick to the diner for the first time in 3 years. Tomorrow she'll start navigating this strange new world of vampires and kingdoms, and protection she never asked for, but desperately needs. But tonight, she's warm and safe in a vampire king's arms, and for the first time since her husband died, she doesn't feel alone. She's asleep in minutes, and Dante holds her through the dark hours, his ancient eyes watching over her, his cold hand stroking her hair with a gentleness that centuries of power haven't eroded. Outside, the rain continues, and somewhere in the city, vampires are taking note of the Sable King's new claimed human. Let them take note. Let them whisper and scheme. Dante will end anyone who tries to take this fragile, fierce woman from him. He's spent 300 years being untouchable. And in one evening, a desperate waitress with kind eyes and a sick daughter has made him want to be something more. Something human. Something loved. And he'll burn his kingdom to ash before he lets her go. Maya wakes to sunlight streaming through her thin curtains and Lily's small hand shaking her shoulder. Mama, there's a man on our couch. She jerks upright, disoriented, and then everything from last night crashes back. The diner, the vampires, Dante. She's still wearing his coat, and when she looks over, he's exactly where she left him, sitting in the corner of the couch with his eyes closed. He looks almost peaceful, almost human, except for the absolute stillness of his chest. It's okay, baby, Maya says quickly, pulling Lily onto her lap. This is Dante. He's a friend. He helped Mama last night. Dante's eyes open at the sound of his name, and he looks at Lily with such careful gentleness that Maya's heart squeezes. "Hello, Lily," he says softly. "Your mother has told me wonderful things about you." Lily studies him with the brutal honesty of 6-year-olds. "You're really pretty. Are you a prince?" Dante's laugh is surprised and genuine. "Something like that. How are you feeling? Your mother mentioned you've been sick." "My throat hurts. And my ears." Lily coughs, the sound wet and painful. "Mama says I need medicine, but it costs too much money." "Not anymore." Dante stands in that fluid way of his and produces his wallet. He hands Maya a black credit card that feels heavy as lead. "Take her to the best pediatrician in the city. This card has no limit." "Use it." Maya stares at the card like it might bite her. "I can't." "Yes, you can. We discussed this." His voice is firm but kind. "Let me help." Before Maya can argue further, there's a knock at her door. Hard, urgent, the kind of knock that means trouble. Dante moves so fast he's a blur, positioning himself between Maya and the door with one hand raised in warning. His entire demeanor has shifted from gentle to lethal in a heartbeat. "Stay behind me," he commands. The knock comes again, and this time a voice follows. "Miss Reeves, it's building management. We need to speak with you immediately." Maya's stomach drops. Building management only shows up for one reason: eviction notices. She's late on rent. Again. She managed to scrape together most of it last week, but she's still short $200. And her landlord has made it clear he's done being patient. "I have to answer it," she whispers to Dante. "Then I'll be right here." Maya clutches Lily tighter and opens the door. It's not just building management. It's her landlord himself, Marcus Whitfield, a paunchy man in his 50s with mean eyes and a smile that never reaches them. Behind him are 2 large men she doesn't recognize, both wearing the kind of cheap suits that scream hired muscle. "Miss Reeves," Marcus's smile is all teeth. "I'm afraid your grace period has expired. You're being evicted, effective immediately. These gentlemen are here to ensure the process goes smoothly." "I have your money," Maya lies desperately. "I can pay you today." "Too late for that. I've already rented the unit to someone else, someone who pays on time." Marcus's eyes slide past her to Dante, and something flickers in his expression. Fear, maybe, or recognition. "I'm going to need you to gather your things and vacate within the hour." "She has a sick child," Dante says, his voice cutting through the conversation like a blade. "You would put a sick child on the street?" "I would put a tenant who doesn't pay rent on the street, whoever they live with." Marcus puffs up, trying to look tough despite the nervous twitch in his jaw. "This is my property, and I have rights." "Rights." Dante moves forward, and Marcus actually stumbles backward into his hired muscle. "Tell me, Marcus Whitfield of Whitfield Properties, do you know who I am?" "Should I?" "You own 7 buildings in this city. All of them barely meet code. Half have violations you've bribed inspectors to overlook. You charge exorbitant rent for substandard housing and prey on people who have nowhere else to go." Dante's smile is terrifying. "And 2 of your buildings sit on land I own. Land I lease to you for a very reasonable rate, because I was under the impression you were a legitimate businessman." The color drains from Marcus's face. You can't be Dante Sable, owner of Sable Holdings. Your landlord, as it were." Dante produces a phone from his pocket and types something with one hand. "I'm terminating your lease, effective immediately. You have 60 days to vacate both properties, and I'll be sending inspectors to catalog every code violation before you go. Any security deposits you've illegally kept will be returned to tenants, with interest." Marcus is sputtering, his face going from white to red. "You can't do this. I have contracts. Contracts that include morality clauses you've violated repeatedly. Check your email. My lawyers have already sent the termination notice." Dante's voice drops to something deadly. And if you ever threaten this woman or her child again, I'll make it my personal mission to ensure you never own property in this city again. Do we understand each other? The hired muscle are already backing away, clearly wanting no part of whatever this is. Marcus opens his mouth, closes it, then turns and flees down the hallway with his men scrambling after him. Maya is shaking. She sets Lily down gently and grips the doorframe for support. He's going to do nothing. Dante closes the door and turns to her. I meant what I said. My protection is real, Maya. That extends to housing, medicine, everything. You don't have to live like this anymore. I don't understand why you care this much. Maya's voice breaks. I'm nobody. Just some waitress you met yesterday. Dante crosses to her and takes her face in both hands, forcing her to meet his eyes. You're not nobody. You're brave and fierce, and you've survived things that would break most people. You love your daughter enough to work yourself to death. You deserve better than landlords who threaten you, and pharmacists who gouge you, and a world that treats you like you're disposable. Tears spill down Maya's cheeks. I don't know how to accept this. Any of it. Then learn. Let me teach you. His thumbs brush away her tears with infinite gentleness. Let me show you what it's like to be valued, protected, cherished. Mama, Lily's small voice interrupts. Are we not getting evicted anymore? Maya laughs through her tears and scoops her daughter up. No, baby, we're not getting evicted. Dante fixed it. Is he magic? Something like that. They take Lily to the pediatrician 2 hours later. The doctor is a kind woman in her 40s who doesn't even blink at Dante's black credit card or Maya's wrinkled waitress uniform. She examines Lily thoroughly, prescribes stronger antibiotics and a nebulizer for her breathing, and tells Maya to bring her back in a week. The pharmacy bill is $800. Dante doesn't flinch. He pays for everything, including a prescription-strength cough syrup and a humidifier the pharmacist recommends. When Maya tries to thank him again, he simply takes her hand and squeezes. This is what protection means, he says. Not just keeping you safe from vampires, but from everything that threatens you. They return to the apartment to find the locks have already been changed. A technician in a Sable Holdings uniform is just finishing up, and he hands Maya 3 new keys with a respectful nod. Mr. Sable ordered the upgrade, miss. These are military grade. Nothing's getting through them. After the technician leaves, Dante walks the apartment's perimeter, touching door frames and windows with his fingers, while murmuring something in a language Maya doesn't recognize. She can feel it when the wards snap into place, a subtle shift in the air, like a shield settling over them. There, he says with satisfaction. No vampire can enter without your explicit permission now. You're safe here. Lily is already breathing easier with the nebulizer, and Maya sets her up on the couch with cartoons while she retreats to the kitchen. Dante follows, leaning against the counter while she mechanically starts preparing lunch. I need to go back to work, Maya says, not looking at him. I can't just abandon my job. Yes, you can. That diner pays you $7 an hour plus tips that barely cover your bus fare. Dante's voice is matter-of-fact. I want you to quit. Maya's hands still on the sandwich she's making. I can't quit. I need income. You have income. Me. My resources. He moves closer, and Maya can feel the cold radiating from his body. I want you safe, Maya. That diner is exposed. Any vampire could walk in like I did, like Theron did, and next time I might not be there. So what am I supposed to do? Just be your kept woman? The words come out bitter. You're supposed to let yourself be protected while we figure out what comes next. Maybe you go back to school. Maybe you find work you actually want to do. Maybe you just focus on being Lily's mother without grinding yourself to dust in the process. His hand settles on her shoulder. I'm not trying to cage you, Maya. I'm trying to give you freedom. Maya turns to face him, and the sincerity in his ancient eyes undoes her. I don't know how to be free. I've been in survival mode for so long. Then learn that too, with me. Before Maya can respond, her phone rings. The number is unknown, but something makes her answer anyway. Maya Reeves? The voice is smooth, feminine, dangerous. You're wearing my brother's coat. How interesting. Maya's blood turns to ice. Who is this? Valentina Sable, Dante's sister. And I think it's time we met. Don't you? After all, any human who captures my brother's interest is worth investigating. There's a pause, and Maya can hear the smile in her voice. Be at the Apex building downtown at 8 tonight. Come alone. If you don't, I'll make sure everyone at your daughter's school knows exactly what kind of creature is sniffing around her mother. The line goes dead. Maya's hand is shaking so badly she nearly drops the phone. Dante takes it from her, his expression darkening as he no doubt hears the conversation with his supernatural senses. Valentina, he says, and the name sounds like a curse. She's trying to intimidate you. It's working. Maya wraps her arms around herself. She threatened Lily's school. Empty threat. Valentina is vicious, but she's not suicidal. She knows harming you, or Lily, means war with me. Dante cups Maya's face. But she will test you. Try to scare you away from me. She's done it before with humans I've shown interest in. Before? Something sharp twists in Maya's chest. There have been others? None that mattered. None that I claimed. His eyes bore into hers. None that I wanted to keep. The possessiveness in his voice should frighten Maya. Instead, it sends heat pooling low in her belly. She's not alone anymore. Not just struggling to survive. Someone powerful wants her, claims her, will fight for her. I'm going, she says firmly, to meet her. If I don't, she'll just escalate, won't she? Probably. Dante doesn't look happy about it. Then I'm coming with you. She said alone. I don't care what she said. You're mine, Maya, under my protection. That means I go where you go, especially when my sister is involved. Mine. The word resonates through Maya's entire body. She's his. When did that happen? When did she stop being just a desperate waitress and become something precious to a vampire king? Maybe it was when he draped his coat around her shoulders. Maybe it was when he held her through the night. Maybe it was the moment he looked at her and saw past the exhaustion to the person underneath. Okay, Maya breathes. We'll go together. The Apex building is a spear of glass and steel stabbing into the night sky. Dante parks in front like he owns the place, which, Maya realizes, he probably does. They take the elevator to the penthouse level, and Maya tries not to fidget with the coat she's still wearing. It feels like armor now, like a declaration. The elevator opens directly into a sprawling apartment that looks like something from a magazine. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcase the entire city glittering below. The furniture is modern and expensive, all sharp edges and cold beauty. Valentina is waiting for them. She's devastatingly beautiful, with long black hair and the same silver eyes as Dante. She wears a blood-red dress that hugs every curve, and her smile reveals fangs that definitely weren't visible a second ago. Baby brother, she purrs, and his new pet. How adorable. Valentina, Dante's voice is ice. You summoned Maya under threat. Explain yourself. I wanted to meet her. Is that so wrong? Valentina circles them like a shark. The Sable King claims a human for the first time in 50 years. People are talking. They're wondering if you've gone soft. Let them wonder. Or let them test. Valentina stops in front of Maya, studying her with predatory focus. What makes you special, little human? What did you do to catch my brother's attention? Maya forces herself to meet those silver eyes. I didn't do anything. I was just trying to survive. Surviving? How? Human. Valentina's hand shoots out, faster than Maya can track, and grabs her wrist. Her grip is crushing. And are you prepared to keep surviving in our world? When vampires come for you, and they will come, can you handle it? Valentina. Dante's voice cracks like a whip. Release her. I'm just testing her. But Valentina's grip tightens, and Maya feels bones grind together. Seeing if she breaks. The pain is blinding, but Maya refuses to cry out. She thinks of Lily. Of every double shift she's worked on no sleep. Of every time she's swallowed her pride to beg for extensions on bills. She's survived worse than this vampire's power play. I don't break, Maya grits out. I bend, I adapt, I endure. That's what humans do. Something flickers in Valentina's eyes. Respect, maybe, or surprise. She releases Maya's wrist and steps back. Interesting. She has spine. Valentina looks at her brother. I approve, for now. I don't need your approval, Dante says coldly. No, but you need the council's. And they're going to want to meet her. The human who wears the Sable King's coat. Valentina's smile is sharp. There will be a gathering in 3 days. Present her properly, Dante. Make sure everyone understands that touching her means death. Otherwise, she shrugs elegantly. Well, you know how our kind are with unprotected prey. She's not prey. Then make them believe it. Valentina waves a dismissive hand. Now get out. I've seen what I needed to see. In the elevator going down, Maya cradles her bruised wrist against her chest. Dante takes her hand gently, examining the damage with a healer's focus. I'm sorry, he says quietly. My sister is protecting you, in her own twisted way. Maya manages a weak smile. She wanted to make sure I'm not going to run at the first sign of danger. And are you? Maya thinks about Lily sleeping peacefully upstairs, breathing easier for the first time in weeks. She thinks about the locks on her door and the wards Dante placed and the credit card with no limit. She thinks about how it felt to be held through the night by someone who sees her as more than just a burden. No, she says, I'm not running. The smile that breaks across Dante's face is radiant. He pulls her close, careful of her wrist, and presses his lips to her forehead. The kiss is chaste, but somehow more intimate than anything Maya's experienced before. Then we face the council together, he murmurs against her skin, and I'll make sure every vampire in this city knows that you're mine. That hurting you means answering to me. That you're not just protected, you're claimed, treasured, worth more than any crown or throne. Maya tilts her face up, and Dante kisses her properly this time. His lips are cold, but his intent is burning hot, and Maya melts into him with a sigh that comes from somewhere deep in her soul. This is insane. All of it. But she's done playing it safe, done just surviving. Maybe it's time to actually live. When they finally break apart, both breathless despite Dante's lack of need for air, Maya grins. So, 3 days until I meet vampire royalty. Think you can teach me how to be impressive? Dante's laugh is rich and full of dark promise. Oh, my darling Maya, you're already impressive. The council just doesn't know it yet. They drive home through the glittering city, and for the first time in years, Maya isn't afraid of what tomorrow brings. She has a vampire king at her side, his coat around her shoulders, and the fierce determination to prove that this human waitress is worthy of the protection she's been given. Let the vampires come. Let them test her. She's Maya Reeves, and she's survived worse than immortal predators. She's survived being alone. And now, finally, she isn't anymore.